Hello everyone, welcome back to that cyber guy. If you're watching this, there's a good chance your data has been stolen. And the scary part, most people don't even know the basic of protecting themselves online. So today, I'm giving you a few rules every normal person needs in 2026. Now, many of our videos, they are very technical, but this video isn't a tech expert video. This is cybersecurity for normal people. Your parents, your friends, your coworkers, and probably you. And I show you simple demonstrations so you can see exactly why this rules matters. Now, are you ready to secure yourself or your loved one online in 2026? Buckle up and let's get started.
Learn cybersecurity in no time.
Now, the first thing is password. So, if you follow one rule from this video, let it be use a password manager. Humans are terrible at making passwords. Password managers, they are not. Now, if I were to go to any password manager right here, and I want to create a strong password, let me say I want to create a password that is very strong, like 20 characters. I can essentially just do that checkbox for uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbol. And the only thing that I can drag the length to 20. Now, why this is matters? I have a file open called worku. Now, worku.txt is a file that has a bunch of common words. This is the exact file. If your password isn't that list and there's a security breach, the attackers will essentially be able to have your password. Now, to make this an example, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just randomly, let me see if I can just go to this website called Ash Generator. Now, when you create an account, let me really explain this so you can understand. When you create an account with James at whatever.com, and then that application or that website asks you to create a password. All right. Now, when you create the password, that password essentially go to something called a database. You see on your computer, when you save a file, it just save into your hard drive. Now, this goes to a database that allows you later, when you type the same email and password, you can essentially get access to your information. Now, on the database, the email is plain text, meaning that if any administrators go to that database or if that database get compromised, your email gonna be visible. But your password, for security perspective, sometimes it is like save as a hash value. It doesn't store the actual password. Now, let's say that you have a password that is password 123. All right, let's generate. This is how your password save in a database. It's not going to say password 123, but instead it's going to just save like that random, like not random, not hash calculated numbers. The reason being is because if the database, if the system get compromised, that your the attackers will know your username or essentially your email, but not your password. But let's say that my password is password 123, and then the account of James at whatever.com get compromised. And the only thing the attacker needs is to have the password. Now, this is what the attacker have, that password. Now, there's a tool that called CrackStation. CrackStation, what it does, as I show you from the text file from the beginning of this video, they have a list, they call it dictionary, that has all the common password people use. And then now, if I were to paste that hash value, as you can see, this is a hash. This is not the entire, the actual password. And then I can verify that I'm not a robot. This is always fun, this captcha. Let me see if I can find more cars, because sometimes I miss some of them. You see, there's a car here. Let's just give it a go. No, try again. But all right. These are always fun. There we go. And if I click on crack hash is, as you can see, the result is password 123. Now, because your password was very weak and it was in the list dictionary, an attacker will be able to access your account and then do thing on your behalf. Now, let's say that your password is not password 123. Let's just make it more complex. Password, instead of, oh, I put 0, 1, instead of 1, I just put L, something like a capital L, 2 3, and I put that. Now I can generate it. Please pay attention here. This number is not going to change, like the length. Let's just generate it. As you can see, it's the same. Now if I were to copy it and go back to crack session and then try to crack it again, or more recaptcha, this is that the back, or I can try it. There you go, and crack. As you can see, not found, because this is not in the list and it cannot be found. That being said, this is the first demonstration to show why a strong password is very important. Now, even though you have a strong password, the second step is multi-factor authentication. Now, even if someone steals your password, for some reason, MFA can stop them. It's like having a second lock on your door. Now, if a service offers MFA and you don't turn it on, you're basically leaving your front door open. So that's very important, MFA. Even though MFA, as of 2026, multi-factor authentication is kind of like sending to text or email. Is kind of not the most secure way, because attackers find ways to break that. We're gonna discuss that later. Now, MFA, we discuss MFA. The third thing is like reusable password. Let's say that you have the password 123 that you used earlier for your school or your bank or your like retirement, etc. Now, if you're using the same password, you're gonna be in trouble, because if one password is leaked with one account, the attackers will be able to have access to multiple accounts. So hackers don't guess password; they use leaks one. If one site get hacked, every account with the same name, password name is at risk. Now, I don't want to scare you, but there's one thing that I want you to do. If you were to go to that website called have high Bing pwned.com. I'm going to add it into the video description, because to avoid typo squatting. Typo squatting is when you go to a website that you accidentally type the wrong words that lead you to a malicious website. So I'm going to type it. What I want you to do today, after you watch this video, go ahead and then just enter your email address and then click on check. So this website gonna just go search, website that has been compromised, and it's gonna tell you which one. If your account have ever been into a breach, they're gonna let you know, and then you can go ahead and change your password and then activate MFA. So update your device is very important, whether you're using an iOS device, whether you're using Android, Windows, or Mac. Update aren't just new features, they patch security holes. So, because sometimes people say that, I'm not going to update this, especially if you're a Windows user, you know what's happened to Windows when there's an update. But, sometimes it's not about a new future, it's about, a security patch. Now, if you ignore update, you basically running around with a giant sign that say hack me. So it's very important to update your device. Now, click. There's one myth that many people, when you watch movies about hacking, people think that somebody gonna get into your computer. Nobody gonna get into your computer until you commit an action. What the action is, that's why phishing is popular. The attackers want you to click. Yeah, for example, if you receive an email that say that, oh, your package is delayed, your account is locked, click here to verify. Thing like that. We're like, okay, yeah, I didn't order anything, or even though I order something, I can just verify. Always verify the email that you receive. Like, is that if you order something from Amazon.com, and then you receive an email that your package is delayed from Amazon.net, but all hackers can do, for example, instead of the Amazon.com, you see right here, in the place of the O, they might put a zero. And then if you don't pay attention, let's say Amazon, you're probably gonna just be in trouble. Now, the other thing that I want you to do is, like, if you're using Android, because I'm an Android user, I think Apple probably have the same. Is using a passkey. Passkey is way stronger than multi-factor authentication. What passkey does, it allows you to go ahead and, in order for someone to get access to your device, they will need your phone. So this is very important. And the other tip is, like, use separate email account, as we discussed from PWNED. Use Have one email address for every, like, kind of scenarios. For example, for important account like your healthcare, your bank, have an email address for that. Instead of many time when you go online, you're not subscribed, they want your email, right? And as soon as you give that email for a coupons or something, you keep receiving a lot of spam, etc. Because sometimes your or companies may just sell your information. Now, other people, they are like, they go to 10minutemails.com, 10-minute mails. There are a bunch of, like, uh of mailbox that that people have for 10 minutes only. Like, you go there for 10 minutes, and then they give you that email, and you just copy it and just do whatever. But I wouldn't recommend it. You can just have, Gmail has, like, a lot of email that you can just keep creating email. As soon as you can verify your information, like, your phone number, etc., you can just use, like, Yahoo, etc., and other email providers, to have multiple emails, that you don't just have one email for everything. And your social media is very important. So I'm not logging into Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, etc. Make sure that your public birthday, public location, public family members, public workplace, you don't just put this. Because if you just if anyone can see, like, your date of birth, your full name, that's already too much information they have on you to impersonate you. And then finally, just use a VPN. Don't use public network. You go to the airport, you go to on vacation, do not use like public network. If you go back to our previous videos, it's kind of a little bit more technical, where we talk about packet sniffers like Wireshark. What it does, Wireshark can just scanning, like, what's happening on devices that are connected. So it's very important to make sure that you always just have a VPN on if you're using a public network, and then make sure that when you go to your website that you can check right here and then to see if this is encrypted. Okay, it's gonna say connection is secure. For example, if you go to any bank in 2026, I doubt any bank doesn't have like secure connection. So this allow the information that you send, they cannot be readable. All right, back up your data is very important. Back up your data. By any like external drive. You go to Google, you say you search for external drive backup. Yeah, you're gonna probably see a lot. On Amazon. They even have 6 GB. For example, always have your data backup from your computer. Some of them they are very cheap. You just go ahead and buy one, and then from time to time just back up your information, family pictures, because something they are memories and they cannot. There's no price for them. You can just buy an external drive and go ahead and just create a backup, because you never know. In spite of all the caution, in spite of everything that you do, for some reason, if you get compromised and someone just lock your computer and ask for money, etc., you can just have a backup at least. Now, the last thing is be skeptical of everything. In 2026, the biggest cyber skill is skepticism. If something feels off, whether it is a message, a call, a link, you have to trust your instinct. All right. Cybersecurity, it's not about being perfect. It's all about building habits that make you a harder target. Now, if you follow these rules, you're already safer than 90% of people online. Now, if you want a part two, just let me know if you want like more information, if you want more demonstration, etc. I'm happy to help, because security starts with people. If you found this useful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, happy learning. Stay safe and secure.